What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Motorfest. And well, as y'all know, today is Wednesday, which means the new summit is now live. And of course, for this week, we have the Gymkhana. First thing I do want to mention, though, is yes, this is going to be called the Gymkhana. And of course, I actually thought every event was going to be based on like the playlist, but it does turn out, guys, every event basically has a modifier of Gymkhana on it. Which, by the way, basically only gives you extra money. So, in the end, you're still going to be doing a race. We are going to have a few rally events and also a few street tier 1s, and of course a couple of drift events as well, so it is going to have a nice mix in there, throwing in multiple different classes, which I would say is probably going to be one of the best ways to actually do the summits. But the first thing I do want to start with here is going to be the skills. The first one here is going to be another escape, which for this one, guys, I would definitely say a hypercar is probably the best option. And I would say if you most likely want to get the highest score, it's probably your only option. But you can most likely tell what the best car, or at least the number one used vehicle is. That is going to be the lovely Bugatti Gendodici, which I'm sure I did not pronounce that correctly, but you guys know me, I definitely ran a car you would most likely never see on it. That is of course going to be the lovely Lamborghini Countach, which by the way, one of the main reasons why I love this car is you do not even have to touch the settings on this thing, and it is going to be one of the best all-around hypercars in Motorfest. Like, it is legit going to be that great. But for this one, guys, all you will then have to do is turn around and hit the objective. After that, you will of course want to head toward the highway. And the biggest thing, guys, for the escapes in this game is definitely watch out for the AI. They are honestly so dang annoying in basically every way. And then moving over to the next skill is going to once again be a slalom. For this, guys, I actually decided to run one of the rallycross vehicles on it. I would actually say you can most likely run basically anything. Like, this one is primarily going to be off-road, and a lot of players are also running Street Tier 2 and hypercars. I've also seen a few people run even Alpha GPs on it, so as long as you guys actually have a score breaker set, this one should probably be pretty simple. And then moving over to the final skill is once again going to be another escape. I also decided, guys, to run the Lamborghini Countach on this one again, even though you are most likely going to see a pattern of which vehicle is being used the most. But I would recommend trying out the Countach, guys. It is going to be plenty quick for it. And for this one, all you will then have to do is basically drive past the objective. After that, you guys will then want to go toward the objective and basically go toward the city, which by the way is going to have a lot of traffic basically everywhere. I would say that's probably going to be one of the biggest challenges with these skills, is most likely going to be the traffic always getting in the way. And now moving over to the first event, guys, is going to be in the Black Beach area, which of course is basically going to be a lot of mud and water as well. Now I would say, guys, most likely a lot of players are probably going to use the C3 Racing, but I actually decided to run something like the Ford Fiesta on it, which by the way, this car is going to be plenty capable for this event. Do keep in mind though, as I did mention before, the rallycross vehicles are not all that great in the mud, so you are going to find yourself basically sliding around each corner a lot more often. I do want to mention, by the way, guys, this event does have a lot of water around it. At least I guess you could say for like the beginning part of it. So I would recommend, by the way, heading into your driver. And then after that, guys, going over to your legend points, heading to the vehicle part here, and putting all of your points on trawler. And then for the next one though, guys, is going to be a circuit race when running a Street Tier 1 vehicle. Do keep in mind, by the way, you can basically run anything on this race though, and I would say you're most likely going to see a pretty big pattern of what everyone does like. The Audi RS2 Avant is probably going to be one of the best cars for it, but I would recommend trying out the recently added RS3 Sportback. This thing is probably going to be one of my go-to Tier 1 vehicles. Like, it's going to be that much fun to run. And it's also going to have some pretty dang good handling, which by the way, if you guys are finding yourself sliding a bit more often, I would recommend using your nitrous to straighten the vehicle out a bit. And then for the next event, guys, is going to be on one of the actual racetracks, and of course you also get to run one of the drift cars. Funnily enough, these drift cars really aren't going to be like terrible vehicles for them, and I would probably say the Camaro SS is most likely one of the most underused drift cars, even since their Crew 2 before. Like, there is obviously going to be better options than it. I would recommend trying out my settings though, that way the car does handle a bit more, especially around the corners. And then for the next event, guys, is going to be with a Street Tier 1 vehicle again. Do keep in mind, by the way, it's also going to be the lovely Masterworks Liberty Walk race. So there is going to be a lot of corners in this one, but the Audi RS3 Sportback does seem to be like a pretty dang good vehicle for events like this one, and that's most likely going to come down to the corners and the way this car accelerates. And then for the next race, guys, is going to be the circuit event there in Kaneohe, which, by the way, is of course going to be with a drift car. I actually did decide to run the Hoonicorn because I absolutely love this thing, but you can also run something like the Mitsubishi as well. I have to admit, guys, the Hoonicorn's going to be so much dang fun. I actually had a great time doing this race every single time I did it. And then, of course, moving over to the last event, by the way, is probably going to be the most annoying race in the entire summit. I would actually say that, guys, with full confidence, like I am not kidding. But I would recommend, though, guys, a few things on this one to make it a tad easier. So the first one is, of course, you are running the Ford Focus RS, which is obviously going to be a rallycross vehicle. So regardless of your build on this event, guys, you are going to find yourself basically sliding everywhere. So a few things I did notice, though, to make this a tad easier. The first one is I would definitely recommend having that drifty perk active. Even if you guys are running legend points on that, I would recommend maxing it out. And also, guys, do not be afraid to use your nitrous in the corners. Like, it is really going to help tremendously in getting around them a bit quicker. And not only that, it's also going to fix an issue if you start sliding out. Now, the biggest recommendation I can give on this event is by far going to come down to the wooden walls basically located around the entire thing. Believe it or not, guys, they actually will make you a lot faster when riding them. It's actually going to be similar to like riding a berm on a dirt bike. You can actually find yourself getting a lot faster of speeds around the corners, and I did notice is probably going to be the only way to get around most of them faster. But overall, though, guys, I did have a great time running this summit. If you have any questions at all, let me know in the comments below. Let's jump right into this.